So this is how we are replacing the fan on the Surface Laptop 3. This is a marvel of an engineering on these laptops. Look how thin this laptop is, and the keyboard is held together by magnets, as well as the cable that connects to the screen is also magnetic. So we're going to place this aside. We'll put it right here, face down. You can see the 256 gigabyte hard drive that can be easily replaced. You can see the batteries here separated into 3 compartments just because they can keep the laptop as thin as possible. You want to go ahead and remove the hard drive or the SSD first on these on these laptops. It serves as a battery disconnect. So whenever you do major repairs like this, you want to go ahead and remove the SSD. So it pops up, and you just gently pull it out, put it aside. Keep all your screws where they belong, so that way you don't lose track of them and where they go. It is important to make sure all the screws are in the right place, as each screw is slightly different for the laptop. Not a hard thing to do to repair these laptops. Just make sure you follow your instructions and make sure you are organized. All right, next you're going to want to remove this tape right here. I use a little spludge to remove it. Just be very gentle with it. So you'll need to put it back later, so there you go. And of course, just put that aside. Then you'll want to go ahead and remove this heatsink. This is the one that covers the motherboard. So you want to remove the heatsink here. And don't bend this heatsink too much because you're going to have to put it back later. So I'm going to take my time here. Be very careful. I'll be right back. Alright, so I got the heatsink shield removed. It was, I'd say, one of the toughest parts just because you don't want to bend it. What you want to do is use a flat tool like this. You want to go in to these little grooves here that are already straight. I would use something like a small nose tweezer that's flat. Kind of pry one up a little bit, insert your tool, and then just wiggle your way in, expand it, and then just expand your spatula all the way through here, and then while at the same time applying upward force a little bit, and just push the whole piece out all at once so you don't bend it. So that's how I did it. Set aside, and now you can see the heat sink to the motherboard, and then it goes over to the CPU, and then it goes over to the fan. This is what we need to replace. And we'll take care of the rest right here. So on to the next step. So now you see this little cable right here that's connected for the fan. You'll want to go ahead and flip it up with a little spudger. Be very gentle with these things because they are very fragile. So there you go. You flip it up, and then you can go ahead and remove it. There you go. So that's removed. So according to instructions, there are T3 Torx screws all around this area. Quite a bit, but this is what you'll need to remove. There's 2 2.5 millimeter screws here, 3 2.0 screws right here. Let me see here. Right here, should be right here, but not right here. But then you got a third one sitting on this side. And then you have one 3.0 screw right here, two 4.1 millimeter screws right here and here, and then two 3.4 millimeter screws right here and here. All right, so we'll get removing on those. I'm halfway through the screw removal of the fan. There's a lot of screws, so on my laptop 3, it seems to be all the screws are the same size, so that's a lot more convenient. I am using a T3 right now, T3, which is Torx 3 screw. Yep, they all seem to be the same size, so that definitely makes it more convenient. Alright, I think I removed every single one there. So now what you want to go ahead and do is pull the fan up on this side, and you want to lift it up right here and then pull it out of the alignment peg. So this is called the alignment peg right here. And you want to gently lift up. There you go. And we have it out. So you can see the CPU thermal paste there, which we'll go ahead and reapply in a bit. And there is the CPU. And there's the fan. Excellent technology, really. I mean, look how small that fan is. Look how thin it is. So we'll put this aside. And we'll install a new one. So what I'm doing right now is using a glasses microfiber cloth, and I'm putting 99% isopropyl alcohol on the on the CPU to clean out the old thermal paste. This is very important because you do not want old thermal paste on there, as they no longer conduct. So you want to clean this area out. There we go. So as you can see, nice and shiny. Don't touch it with your fingerprint. Do not touch it with, don't let dust get on it, because any minor dust or fingerprint can affect the thermal transmission of the paste between paste and the heatsink. So we let it dry. Now that it's dried, I have a new pack of thermal paste here that came with my fan. Going to just use a spatula here and just apply a small dab. Like so. Just a small dab. We're going to just smear it a little bit to cover it up. I'm going to apply a very, very thin coat on it. Just gonna apply a tiny bit more and make sure there's no gaps. But make sure it's thin. All right, so that looks pretty good by my standards, and I've been doing it for a while. So we clean this up. All right, and on goes the new heatsink, or the fan, and both. So I have the new fan here. Hopefully this works as advertised. Got the new fan. The heatsink right there, and then we're going to just reapply it the same way. Okay. You know, I'm gonna go ahead and clean the heatsink with a little isopropyl alcohol as well. All right, so I got the part where it touches the CPU completely clean with isopropyl alcohol. You know, let it dry. That's good, and then you're gonna put it back on the same way you took it out, and that is it, and you are done. So take your time here. You've gone this far. You don't want to mess up now. Slowly lower the CPU. Make sure the middle dot is centered on the centering pin right there. Okay, and then you want to do a crisscross pattern when securing the CPU part, and you want to do that first, and then you do the rest of it. All right, we'll put this back together and see if everything works. Fingers crossed. All right, now I put the heatsink back. I used the spatula to push into the edges to make sure they are secure into the little slots. All right, it's just a metal plate. Make sure that it transfers heat out of the laptop. That's really the major use of the heatsink. So now we got the 256 gigabyte SSD. We're going to put it back in 45-degree angle or 15-degree angle. Just kind of slide in there, and then again, of course, another torque screw. Push it down. The hardest part of these assemblies is trying to make sure you don't lose these screws, because they are very small and they are magnetic, so they attract everything. Just hand tight a little bit. There you go. So everything's done. What we just need to do now is connect the keyboard back with the little magnetic connector. So here's our keyboard. Flip it around. Where's my connector? There's my connector. And just make sure it is oriented correctly. And it should stick right in. There you go. The keyboard's connected. And just lay it flat. And this is magnetic. Do everything the opposite. So however you take it out is how you put it back. All right. There we go. All right, moment of truth. Everything's put back together. Don't over tighten the screws. Just lightly tighten them because it will strip. So just try to turn on. See if we can hear the fan. just to test it out.
This is the Apple Vision Pro. And this is the brand new second generation Apple Vision Pro, nearly 2 years later. Yeah.
So due to copyright issues, I don't want to keep playing that video, but as you can see, everything works as intended. It was pretty easy. It took about 30 minutes to take everything apart and put everything back together. Of course, explaining it on the video took a little bit longer, but if you were to do it yourself, it probably wouldn't take more than about 15 minutes if you're efficient. Just make sure you have the right tools. Again, Torx screws are major requirement for this type of laptop installation. And just be very careful. Don't walk around charging up static on your feet and to your body, because that will fry the electronics. Stay in one position, do what you gotta do, get everything ready, and you'll be good to go. So if I can do it, you can do it, one step at a time.